We are officially 3 weeks into the 2021 college football season, and we've seen teams live up to the hype and some teams disappoint. This is B. Kelly back again with another banger video, and today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about 5 disappointing teams in the 2021 college football season so far. Just a quick disclaimer before I start off the video, this can change throughout the season. Some of these teams I say are disappointing right now can change the whole script since it is early in the season right now, and they could just prove everything that I say wrong in this video in the coming weeks. But right now, they've been disappointing. And also, before I start off the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now, let's get into it. The first team that I am going to be talking about in today's video is Florida State. Now, heading into the season, Florida State had some hype as a team that was going to be pretty solid and could hang in with a lot of people that are top teams. And they did show that in Week 1 versus number 9 Notre Dame. In this game, they stuck with Notre Dame and even made it go to overtime after coming back late and just barely lost 41-38, and they showed a lot of potential. But that is really where it stops, as these next couple weeks so far, they have been heavily disappointing. They had a home game right after Notre Dame the next week versus Jacksonville State, and they would end up losing this game 17-20. The next game they had the next week at Wake Forest, they would end up losing 35-14. Florida State just overall has not been a very good team lately, but these last couple games have really made Florida State look even more disappointing, especially compared to the way they played Notre Dame. Right now in scoring offense, they rank 101st in the nation, averaging 23 points per game. And the defense is allowing 32 points per game, which ranks as 110th in the nation. On to the next team, I am going to be talking about Utah. Now, in the preseason, I was giving Utah hype because of who they were returning and their great transfer class they had. But clearly, I have been wrong so far, as they've been disappointing me a lot. They were a top 25 team heading into the season, and they currently rank as 1-2 after a dominant victory Week 1 versus Weber State, 40-17. They've dropped 2 straight to BYU and San Diego State, losing to BYU 17-26 and San Diego State 31-33. Some people heading into the 2021 season saw Utah as a team that could potentially compete for a Pac-12 title and possibly just even maybe win the Pac-12 this season. But right now, this seems like that's very far out of the way, as just they don't look like a team that's going to be a top Pac-12 team right now, or a team that's going to even make it to the Pac-12 championship game. They definitely got some things they need to answer, and they definitely got some things they got to improve each week that they play. Right now, in scoring offense, they're averaging 29 points a game, which is 73rd in the nation, and defense are giving up 25 points a game, which is 77th in the nation. The next team that I am going to be talking about is also in the Pac-12, and that is none other than Washington. Now, Washington, similar to Utah, had some preseason hype heading into the season as a team that could be competing for a Pac-12 title and a team that could possibly be in the Pac-12 championship game. They were number 20 heading into the season, and they had a lot of hype as they were returning a good amount of starters as well, just like Utah, and had a good transfer class. But shockingly, they lost their first game to Montana, which was a home game, 7-13. Washington would go on to lose the next game at Michigan, in which they lost 31-10, and then they would get their first win of the season this past weekend versus Arkansas State in a dominant game, 52-3. Now, Washington's problem has not been the defensive side of the ball, as on average, they are only giving up 15.7 points per game, and that is currently 25th in all of the FBS. Their biggest problem has been offense. They were averaging 23 points per game, which is 102nd in all the FBS level. On to the next team, we're going to take it back to the ACC and talk about Miami. Now heading into this season, Miami had a lot of hype as a team that was going to be competing for the ACC championship game, and a team that was seen as one of the better ones in college football. They were ranked as a top 15 heading into week 1 versus Alabama, and even some thought they were going to take advantage of Alabama's inexperience and beat them, but that was far from the truth as Miami got destroyed on national television by Alabama 44-13. They would win their next game versus Appalachian State, but it was not a pretty win at all as they won 25-23. In their next game, they would take on Michigan State, and to put it quite frankly, they did not look good at all as they lost 17-38. Something that is pretty concerning with Miami is that D'Eriq King has yet to really find his groove along with the rest of the offense. This offense has taken a big step back so far from the previous season that had some pretty explosive games on the ground and through the air. So far in this season, they're averaging 18 points per game, and they're currently ranked 116th on the FBS level. And don't get me started on the defense, as the defense took a step back so far from last season, as they're giving up 35 points per game, and that's ranked as 113th on the FBS level. Miami is going to have to improve on both sides of the ball if they're going to want to be a team that's not known as a disappointing team in 2021. The final team that I'm going to be talking about in this video is not really about the whole team itself, but more the offense, and that is Clemson. Now, Clemson's defense this season has been nearly perfect as they're only giving up 7 points per game, which is second in all of the FBS level, which is insane, but honestly is expected since they returned so much of their defense, and their defense was already good last season. But the concerning part about Clemson is their offense. Yes, they are a 2-1 team and currently a top 10 team in college football. But something that's really concerning with Clemson is that their offense has not been clicking at all and has been struggling a lot overall. The offense currently is averaging 22 points per game, which is 107th in the FBS. Now you might be thinking, okay, it's 22 points, it's going to go up from there. But if you factor in the FBS opponents that they've played, according to just playing FBS level teams such as Georgia and Georgia Tech, Clemson has scored a total of 17 points in 2 games on the Power 5 level in particular. Now that is roughly about 8.5 points per game, which is just heavily disappointing knowing what they should be able to do on the offensive side of the ball. The O-line is a big reason why they're not succeeding, as the O-line, I'm going to be real, is not good at all for Clemson, and it's making the entire offense struggle as a whole. DJ Uiagalelei, he has 1 touchdown this season and 2 interceptions. He's not playing like anyone expects. Clemson's leading rusher is Will Shipley, who is playing pretty solid for a true freshman running back with 175 yards in 3 games, but it could be a lot better if they had a way better offensive line. Well guys, if you guys have made it this far in the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.